What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Weekly GCap, the only source you'll ever need to catch up on all the gaming news from the last week. As always, we got quite a couple stories to go through, so let's go ahead and get right into this. First things first, Teardown is coming to consoles. This coming from PlayStation blog, quote, "I'm excited to share that Teardown will land on consoles on November 15th, 2023, and it is our immense privilege to announce that the game will be part of the PlayStation Plus game catalog on day one. Available with PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium memberships, we are also taking this opportunity to announce a new series of new missions, maps, vehicles, and other content coming to Teardown over the next year, along with the game's first ever season pass," end quote. So I can tell you firsthand, I played Teardown quite a bit. It's one of those games where after a long day, you turn it on, you mess some stuff up in the world. I don't know what they did with the engine that they crafted. Like, I don't know how that engine was made, but it is absolutely beautiful. And if you have PlayStation Plus Extra or Premium, or even if not, even if you just have some money you want to spend, just try something new, try something different, I can highly recommend this game. Next up, just a quick thing I wanted to highlight, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2, if you guys remember that remake that came out a couple of years ago, it finally released on Steam. Before, it was only available on Epic Games, but now it is available on Steam, so I highly recommend picking it up there. If you didn't grow up with the original games like I did on the PS1, you know, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2, well, the remake is a great way to get into it. It's literally like a one-to-one remake in terms of gameplay, the levels, characters, soundtrack, not so much. There was, you know, some licensing issues there, but otherwise, it's the exact same game. It's a great way to try the games for the first time. I highly recommend it. Next up, a new Spider-Man 2 PS5 bundle was announced. Normally, I would, you know, put up a picture on screen and be like, hey, look at this new bundle, but, I mean, there's not really any reason for it. It's literally just, you know, Spider-Man 2 and a PS5, you know, it's not a Spider-Man 2 PS5, it's a PS5 with Spider-Man 2. I mean, I'll put the picture up on screen. I mean, the box looks different, but that's about it. Yeah, it's a little strange because they had the Spider-Man 2 PS5 and now they have a PS5 with Spider-Man 2. It's a little confusing, don't pick up the wrong one. But, I mean, the option is there. Next up, Xbox announced a new Gold Shadow controller. I'll put the picture up on screen and just... Phew, look at this thing. It's retailing for $69.99. It's available for pre-order right now, and it will be officially launching October 17th. So keep your eye on that one. I think I might be picking this one up. Next up, the Batman Arkham Trilogy for Switch was delayed, which is honestly pretty unfortunate because it was going to be coming out in just a couple of days, couple of weeks from now, like, you know, at some point mid-October, and then last second they just kind of delayed it. Anyways, they posted this up saying, Batman Arkham Trilogy for Nintendo Switch will now launch on December 1st, 2023. More time is needed to bring players the best possible experience on Nintendo Switch. We apologize to fans who are excited to play this version of the trilogy. Thank you for your patience, end quote. So, we all know what this is about. It's about Batman Arkham Knight. I don't doubt it for a single second. I bet it is Batman Arkham Knight. So, you know, I'm sure Arkham Asylum and City are going to be fine, but yeah, I guarantee there's some more optimizations that need to be made, to say the very least, whether that be resolution, whether that be frame rate, just overall performance and glitches. Arkham Knight is rather infamous for having on console, it was an okay launch, but on PC, it was a pretty rough launch. So, yeah, you know what? Just to avoid any more catastrophes like that, just take all the time that you need, please. Okay. Next up, this one is pretty odd because this is a pretty big name IP, and this game isn't that old, but I'll just go ahead and read it. WWE 2K22, the servers are shutting down already. Yes, 2K22. This coming from WWE Games on Twitter, quote, "Attention WWE 2K community, WWE 2K22 servers will be discontinued as of January 3rd, 2024. All online modes and functions, including online matches and community creations, will no longer be available," which, that's... sucks. That just sucks, man. Do you know, the online community is such a huge part of the game, and it's like a huge pillar of like what a lot of people buy it for. But anyway, now is the perfect time to upgrade to hashtag WWE 2K23. Thank you for all the support. If that isn't the biggest middle finger that I've seen like a developer and a publisher give their fans in a while, then I don't know what is. It's like, hey, you know this game you dropped all this money on, and basically, you know, the same game that it is every year because we just click Control-C, Control-V, put it on a new disc, and put it out for you guys. Well, yeah, I like, why are they doing this? Why are they shutting it down? And so shamelessly saying now is the perfect time to upgrade. It's just, I don't even know. Anyway, I apologize to the 2K22 fans out there, because that was a pretty solid entry, but, you know, get your matches in while you can. We got a little less than 3 months to get them in. One thing I wanted to highlight real quick is that Silent Hill Ascension pre-registers are available now on Google Play. I'm not sure if it's on the iOS App Store. You guys will have to let me know down below. I personally don't have an Apple device, or not a recent enough one to actually use it anyway, but most recent device I have is like an iPhone 6s, right? But anyway, yeah, this is going to be like an interactive series of sorts. It's going to be going live at 9 p.m. EST on Halloween. Really really excited. I'm definitely going to be there for it, just like seeing what it's all about. It's like this interactive series. I really don't even know what this is going to be necessarily, like nobody really does, but I'm really excited, and I do recommend that you guys pre-register for this one, because it seems like it's going to be one of those once-in-a-lifetime type of experiences, especially for Silent Hill fans, because I can tell you firsthand as a Silent Hill fan, it's been a while since we've been treated right. It's been a tough road, but things are starting to look up, and I couldn't be happier. Next up, reviews went live for Forza Motorsport. Right now, it is sitting at an 85 on Metacritic. So, yeah, that's really all I gotta say about that. I just kind of like highlighting that anytime reviews go live for a game, just so you guys can kind of know where it's sitting at. Personally, I don't care about review scores, but I know that matters to some people, but, yeah, I don't know, that's basically what I expected. While we're talking about review scores also went live for Assassin's Creed Mirage, which is sitting at a 77 on Metacritic. Not bad by any means, but ooh, I don't know. I was expecting this one to come in a bit higher. Again, personally, I don't really care about review scores, and 77, that's still good, right? But when you think about Assassin's Creed, like a big name IP, ooh, I don't know. I'll have to check out some of the reviews more in depth after I get my hands on the game. I don't look at reviews, like I don't watch them, I don't listen to them. I try to keep my ears away from the ground, per se, whenever it comes to like what people are saying about the new games, because especially if it's a game that I actually would like want to try or play for myself. This being one of those, I'm not exactly sure what people are saying about it. I don't know if it's one of those games where like some people love it, some people hate it, therefore it's kind of a, you know, like it's just sitting at a 77 because of that, or if it's just mixed around the board. I'm not really sure, but I'll have to delve into that a bit more after I play the game for myself. Next up, if you bought the recent Red Dead Redemption re-release for PS4 and Switch, you may be in luck depending on what platform you're on. So, Red Dead Redemption, it got a 60 FPS patch on the PlayStation 5. This does not apply to the PlayStation 4 or the Switch. It applies to the PS4 Pro and the PS5, but it does not apply to the base PS4, nor does it apply to the Switch. This is mainly just for PS4 Pro and PS5. So if you bought that recent re-release, then if you have one of those two systems, you can play the game in 60 FPS. Which I'm kind of surprised that the base PS4 can't handle that, or that they didn't at least allow it there, because I'm sure even at an unlocked frame rate, it could easily hit 50 to 60. It's a PS3/360 game after all, but yeah. Also, for anyone curious with the Series S out there, Alan Wake 2 will not have a performance mode on the Xbox Series S. This coming from Game Informer, quote, Remedy Entertainment revealed last week that a performance mode was coming for Alan Wake 2 on PS5 and Series X. There was no mention of this mode coming to Series S, however, and Game Informer reached out to Remedy to ask if the mode was skipping the console. Remedy confirmed to Game Informer today that there will be no performance mode for the Alan Wake 2 on Xbox Series S, end quote. So I feel like this is to be expected. You know, obviously the Series S is more of like an entry type console. You can't expect all the bells and whistles that come with the more expensive model, the Series X. So I think that's totally acceptable. As long as the game is running at above, you know, as long as the game doesn't come out running at like 500p, 5 FPS, then, you know, I think that's totally fine. One thing I wanted to highlight that I found interesting is that the PlayStation Portal sold out online. So this coming from Genki on Twitter. PlayStation Portal pre-orders have sold out all online retailers in Japan. Amazon, sold out. Rakuten Books, sold out. Yodobashi, sold out. Big Camera, sold out. Yamato Webcom, sold out. Softmap, sold out. Joshin, sold out. Sony Store, sold out. Edeon, sold out. Aeon, sold out. Nojima, sold out. Ami, sold out. So, yeah, it literally sold out at every single retailer in Japan. I mean, sure, if you guys really want the PlayStation Portal, go for it, but, you know, this is literally just like a streaming device, and even then, it's not a streaming device, you're just streaming it from your PS5 when you're in the same vicinity of your PS5, but, yeah, sure, I guess people really wanted the new PSP. For some reason. Next up, it seems that the FTC is continuing to fight the Microsoft Activision deal. This is coming from Eurogamer, quote, The FTC has once again resumed its case against Microsoft's acquisition of Activision Blizzard after a pause over the summer. It means the FTC can still battle the deal even after it closes, reports Bloomberg, though it won't derail its completion by 18th October. A new order released yesterday states the FTC is determined that the public interest warrants that this matter be resolved fully and expeditiously. Therefore, the Commission is returning this matter to adjudication. An admin hearing is to be held 21 days after the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals issues its opinion regarding the previous appeal. However, as Axios' Stephen Totillo noted on social media, the Court of Appeals isn't hearing arguments until 6 December. The FTC continues to believe this deal is a threat to competition, and we are placing this matter on the Commission's Part 3 calendar ahead of our ongoing federal court appeal. But our current focus is on the federal appeal process, an FTC spokesperson told Axios. And then the Activision Blizzard CTO, Lulu Chang Meserve, I think is how you're supposed to say it, I'm not really sure how to pronounce that, replied on X/Twitter saying, quote, "In response to questions about this, we're focused on working with Microsoft towards closing how the FTC uses limited taxpayer resources is their decision," end quote. Spicy comeback from Lulu there. But, yeah, so it seems like even after this deal closes, the FTC is going to continue to fight it. But if I'm going to be honest with you guys, this isn't going to go anywhere. They're going to try. They're going to try hard. But it just seems like a fruitless attempt at this point, right? Like, we all know the deal is going to go through. And, I mean, even in this article, it was stated that nothing they do can hamper the ability for the deal to go through at this point. It's just they're going to continue to fight it afterwards. It's just, I don't know. It seems pointless. Let's just move on. Next up, this one makes me pretty sad, but the 3DS and Wii U online servers will be shutting down permanently. This coming from Nintendo's Twitter account /X account, whatever you want to call it. Quote, "Thank you very much for supporting our platforms. In early April 2024, online play and other functionality that uses online communication will end for Nintendo 3DS and Wii U software. This also includes online cooperative play, internet rankings, and data distribution. We will announce a specific end date and time at a later date." Now, they did go on to specify on their website, because they put up two things. They had the tweet that basically said that, and then you click a link, which takes you to a website, which is actually what I was just reading from, that, you know, explained all that, and then went on to explain some other things. And in the FAQ, they did mention that you will be able to still download games that you have purchased previously, though this is not a feature that will be there permanently. At least, you know, that's how they were kind of wording it, at least, like, for the foreseeable future. You know, when they word it like that, you know, it's going at some point. But you will at least be able to do that still. But, yeah, sometime in 2024, it's sad. But one thing I will mention is that there was third parties, similar to how third parties brought the Xbox Live service for the original Xbox back online. There are people that are already doing that and have had some success with doing that for the 3DS and Wii U. I don't know if I'm allowed to actually share that information with you guys in this video. You know, Nintendo's very strict about that stuff, so I don't want to risk this video getting in trouble. But it doesn't take a lot of Google searching to find it. That's all I'll say. So the Wii U and 3DS online servers are officially going down, but unofficially, we'll be alright. They'll be there for the foreseeable future, and with some other workarounds, you know, it will be alright. Next up, we got the October Xbox Game Pass games for you guys. These being Warhammer 40,000 Dark Tide, available now. Forza Motorsport, available October 10th. From Space, available October 12th. And Like a Dragon Ishin, coming October 17th. Solid lineup right there, especially Like a Dragon Ishin. Highly recommend that one. Such a good game. And finally, this is like a cluster of stories, but there has been thousands of layoffs across the video game industry in the last week, and we're just going to go ahead and briefly read from some of the various places that have been dealing with layoffs. Now, granted, there was more places that have been suffering from layoffs. These are just the ones that I managed to pick out. Let's just go ahead and get started. This is, I'm getting chills already. This breaks my heart. But anyway, this is coming from Epic. Quote, "We are laying off around 16% of Epic employees. We're divesting Bandcamp and spinning off most of Super Awesome. For a while now, we've been spending way more money than we earn investing in the next evolution of Epic and growing Fortnite as a metaverse-inspired ecosystem for creators. I had long been optimistic that we could power through this transition without layoffs, but in retrospect, I see that this was unrealistic." End quote. We're just going to keep moving through this. This coming from Sega, Sammy. Quote, "We have decided to implement structural reforms aimed at increasing efficiency, mainly at our European bases, and reviewed the title portfolio in those bases. Then we have made the difficult decision to cancel some titles under the development, as well as to reduce the fixed expenses. By fixed expenses, they mean employees. Again, a hefty percentage of layoffs." Next, this coming from Kotaku. Quote, "Layoffs were communicated internally at the Santa Monica, California-based studio last week, according to two sources familiar with the situation. Departments ranging from art to production were impacted, but the majority of those laid off worked in quality assurance testing. The sources said at least 25 developers were part of the downsizing. Full-time staff do not appear to have been part of the cuts. Naughty Dog's headcount was over 400... Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, this is talking about Naughty Dog, by the way. Naughty Dog's headcount was over 400 as of July. Sources tell Kotaku that no severance is being offered for those currently laid off, and that impacted developers as well as remaining employees are being pressured to keep the news quiet. Their contracts won't be officially terminated until the end of October, and they'll be expected to work through the rest of the month. Sony did not immediately respond to a request for comment." End quote. And before we go into the next example, I just want to explain about like the whole contracts thing. Yeah, these are contractors getting laid off. These aren't like full-time employees for this specific instance. For the other ones, it was employees. But for this last one, that's why these companies like to hire contractors. because they don't have to, you know, take them on full-time, worry about, like, full-time pay, and if anything gets happened where they happen to get fired or let go or switch around or whatever, then they don't have to worry about severances or, like, you know, like, giving them some sort of benefit when they leave, like health insurance. No, since they're contractors, they can just shove them out the door, and that can be that. It's sick. One may argue that contractors need to understand that going in, but on the other hand, come on, man, that is just inhumane. Like, come on now. And then finally, this coming from Eurogamer, quote, Worms publisher Team 17 has announced a company restructure likely to result in significant job losses. You guys aren't even ready for this one. Eurogame understands with the majority of the developer's internal QA, aka quality assurance team, affected, around 50 roles. But then the next day, they updated the story, saying, Team 17's company restructure is expected to see layoffs across the business, Eurogamer now understands. On top of the deep cuts to the company's QA department reported yesterday, the developer's usability team is another set to see job losses, sources close to the company say, with further cuts expected in the studio's programming and marketing departments. Team 17 has now confirmed the company's CEO has left, and that the business is now in a consultation period with staff over major proposed changes to its teams, as first reported by Eurogamer yesterday, end quote. I know we're going through a bit of a recession when it comes to the U.S. economy, and, well, not just the U.S. economy, just economies, period, around the world, but I don't even know what to say about this, you know, like, most of the time, in most episodes, you know, I'm able to say something like, okay, there were some layoffs here, I wish them the best of luck. It's hard to be as optimistic here. I'm actually holding back tears right now. Like, I'm not trying to be dramatic, but, like, I seriously feel for these developers. Like, obviously, I don't know what they're going through right now, and I don't even want to imagine what they're going through, what they feel like, how much anxiety and fear and worry and, like, depression all of them must feel. But it makes me so sad. Just this industry that I love, and just thousands of employees losing their jobs in the blink of an eye. For some viewers watching this, you may not understand, and for those that don't understand, you're probably a bit younger, and that's okay. That's not your fault. But once you're older and you're an adult and you know how this stuff works, and, you know, obviously, the saying money doesn't buy happiness is very true. That's been a saying for, you know, however long. But money does buy your ability to live a proper life, right? Like, sure, maybe it can't actually buy you happiness, you know, whatever that saying means. But it does kind of buy your ability to live and be okay, especially if you have a family to support. So, I mean, I don't know. I wish all these developers the best of luck, but it's just a crazy time in the gaming industry, and it's really easy to see, like, just how bad the live service model has been for the industry, because most of the companies affected have been involved in live service gaming, especially Epic, for example. And while on one hand, I'm glad that it's backfiring on them in a way, since, you know, it's just, you know, live service gaming has been a plague to the gaming industry for the past couple of years. And, you know, there's just been a lot of negativity or bad things that have come from that, right, from the whole live service model. But I'm not happy that it is affecting the employees in this way to where so many have to be laid off. Again, I'm glad that it's backfiring on the companies and the higher-ups, since, you know, their pockets are already stuffed beyond belief. But, you know, it's obviously sad that it's affecting the employees. And the saddest part is, even after these layoffs to, you know, restructure and get costs or whatever, then, you know, everybody else gets a big bonus, like the CEOs. The ones that already have so much money that they probably don't even know what to do with. But yeah, again, I wish these developers the best of luck, and if you know any developers personally that have been affected by these, just make sure you're there for them right now. You know, even if it's simply hanging out with them, whether it's maybe helping them out if they need it, whatever. Just it truly is a dark time, and this goes beyond the gaming industry. You know, in every industry, there's just layoffs all over the place. It's just, honestly, I'll just say it outright. It's a scary time to be alive, and I hope all of you are doing okay out there. But anyway, that is all the stories that I have for you guys this week. So now I'd definitely love to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts on everything we talked about, whether it's the new game releases and such, or all the layoffs happening in the video game industry, just whatever it is, whatever you're thinking, I'd definitely love to hear from you guys. But anyway, this is Weekly GCap. New episodes go live every single Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern, so if you want to catch them as soon as you go live, well, then I know when to be here. But anyways, that's going to do it for me, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Have an amazing day and an amazing weekend. Stay beautiful. I love you all. Peace.